report.
Happening to me. Falling apart.
Saw a movie about this one time. It didn't end well.
Yeah, hang on. It's just because I've got the YouTube going too. Fine.
Debbie?
Yes, ma'am. Am I calling the wrong number?
I think he was going to call on his other phone, but I'm within shouting distance. Do you want me to get him for you?
Yeah, I might have just picked up the wrong number.
Looking around like something's going on.
Okay.
Hang on. I've got Debbie on the phone. She just called me. Debbie just called me.
I called the wrong number. Sorry.
Debbie, talk to Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
Do you want? Did I call the wrong number?
Nobody's picking up on the number I'm calling.
Okay. So.
Call my office number.
Okay.
I mean, call my town cell phone.
Yes, got you. Thank you. I'll do it now.
Okay.
Okay. How are we doing now?
Okay. I think we're getting our act together here.
All right. That's good. Okay.
Ball game. Sounds like it.
Debbie?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's a little bit better. Am I coming in all right?
You are?
Okay. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay, good. Who's sitting around the table?
We have Kevin Carden, David Simmons, Chris Craig, Jesse, and Mayor on the phone, and Steve and I are in the audience.
Okay. And is Christian online or
no?
Okay.
He and Storm are absent.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna. Kevin is there. So if you're breaking up a little bit, if things start to go south, Kevin, you're gonna have to step in and manage this thing. And Debbie, you and Jesse and Kevin, you're gonna have to be my eyes. And I'm gonna try to run this thing on the phone, and the only reason I want to try to do that is because there are a couple sensitive items on here that I want that burden placed on me and nobody else. So that's why I want to try to run this meeting this way. And if things don't work out, Kevin, you're just gonna have to handle it. So I'm gonna go ahead and call the March 24th, Tuesday, Harpers Ferry Town Council, Special Town Council meeting to order at 5:33 p.m. I need a motion to approve the agenda, and the motion is by.
I'll move. Dave Simmons.
David Simmons.
And I second Chris Craig.
Okay, and seconded by who?
Chris Craig.
I'm sorry. Okay. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Unanimous.
All right, good. All right. So the agenda is approved new business discussion action regarding endorsing an offer from NPS to undertake street pavement preservation treatment on Shenandoah Public Way Street. Okay, what this is all about, I received a telephone call between Tanya and myself. Is she in the audience, by the way?
No.
Okay. All right. So Tanya contacts me, and the Park Service has received a grant. And what they want to do, and we all know how delicate and confusing the right-of-way is on Shenandoah Street. We basically control the surface of the street. The Park Service controls what's underneath the macadam. Okay, so with that said, the Park Service would like to preserve that street a little bit by putting a preservation coating on it, along with public way. And what this involves is that they will come in and any large cracks, they will fill the cracks, and then they come in with a special, fairly thick liquid that is applied to the surface, and it preserves the macadam underneath. Now, they did this back in 2016, and they want to do the same thing again. I think that street is held up real good about this. They just can't do it because we have the right-of-way responsibilities for the surface. This will not cost the town anything, and I recommend that we consider approving this for the Park Service to come in and do that. And they want to do the same thing like they did before on Public Way to preserve that street. It's a benefit to the Park Service, and it's also a major benefit to us, and I see this as a win-win. They will bring the preservation topping right to the bus depot on Shenandoah, and none of it will end up on top of the cobblestone that begins there. It's a very quick drying material that settles in, and the Park Service evidently uses this all over in their parks.
I'll make a motion to approve MPS to apply the preservation treatment to Shenandoah and Public Way.
Thank you, Jesse. Is there a second?
I second Chris.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Discussion?
Is it, so we've done, it's 10 years old, what's on it?
Hang on, Greg.
It's 10 years old, what's on there now then? It was done in 2016, you said?
Yeah, it was done, as I remember, it was 2016.
Okay.
It was just before Wayne became mayor.
Yep.
And it was on my watch.
Okay. Do you remember that project?
I know.
Okay.
Because it dries really
Yeah,
quick.
I
Okay,
can't see anything, so-
We're ready for a vote.
Good.
We're ready for a vote.
Okay. Commission, grant approval.
Aye.
Again, I guess the motion
Yep.
passes. Number 2, discussion action regarding FY 2026 general fund budget revision number 6. Debbie, you got that?
Okay, yes. This budget revision, implements an overall increase of $26,000, just 1%. In income, we're making minor adjustments to B&O tax, building permits, and parking violations. In expense,
Debbie, let me interrupt. You're going to have to slow down a little bit and maybe get a little closer to the microphone.
okay,
Yeah, you're breaking up some.
She's moving for you.
Me too, because I am out in the middle of nowhere in South Georgia.
okay.
So,
That sounds like, okay. All right, so when it's to B&O tax, building permits, and parking violations. In expenses, there are compensations for shifts in workload due to staffing shortages, creating increases in wages to the financial office, the public works administrator, and the magistrate. The public works administrator is captured within 440 City Hall, the magistrate within the police department section. Street signs has been increased to reflect the full request from fiscal 26 for the purchase of the town streets and traffic sign replacements. Snow removal contracting has been adjusted for the end of the snow season. Yay. Any questions on that revision?
I move to approve the fiscal year 26 revision 4 budget.
I need to read this, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and for discussion, we will have Kevin read the resolution that goes along with the revision change, and then he'll make roll call.
Okay.
Over.
Okay, so the resolution says, at a special session of the municipal council held March 24th, 2026, the following order was made and entered. The revision of the levy estimate budget of the town of Harpers Ferry, the following resolution was offered. Resolved that subject to approval of the state auditor as ex officio chief inspector of public offices, the municipal council does hereby direct the budget be revised prior to the expenditure or obligation of funds for which no appropriation or insufficient appropriation currently exists, as shown on budget revision number 6, a copy of which is entered as part of this record. All right. Okay, so vote yes or no. David Simmons,
Yes.
Chris Craig,
Yes.
Jesse Milton.
Yes.
I vote yes. Mayor?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Next, regarding FY 2027 call, general and coal fund budget, this may require executive session. Debbie, can we do this in the clear, or do we have to go in?
So I think we can do most of it in the clear, but I think there is a recommendation from Budget and Finance that as we get into a little bit of some personnel staffing issues, just globally towards the end, you may want to hop into executive session for that. Is that fair?
All right,
Okay.
Let me ask this then, before I make a decision on that. Number 4 is talking about the collection, and that also may require executive session.
Mhm.
Is there a strong reason for that to occur? I mean, if there is, I know definitely number 5 we will have to go in. If there is a strong reason for number 4 and a somewhat reason for number 3, then I suggest we go in for number 3, 4, and 5 right now.
Well, wait, so you need to be here for 3 and 4.
Right. So, Steve, do you see, while, the justification for a executive session for the water meter collector tower? You do? Okay.
Yeah, there's a financial aspect of it that you all should be aware of. It's a customer relationship, and so I think you need to have that in executive session.
And the public works administrator agrees with that. We should do that in executive session.
I say that again, Jesse.
Steve agrees that we should do the collector towers in executive session as well.
However, I really think that for the public, we can give the high level summary of the 27 budget in the clear, and then
go for it.
to executive session to cover the end of that, the collector towers, and then item number 5.
So let's do item 3 partway, and then we'll go into executive session.
Yeah.
Greg.
All right, Kevin,
Okay. So
rely on take number 3 and take number 4 if you can, because everybody that was just speaking, including Jesse, was breaking up pretty good. So I don't know where we are with number 3.
okay, so we're gonna talk in the clear about most of the budget. Then we're gonna have a motion to go into executive session to discuss staffing issues, and then do number 4 and 5 as well. Okay. Okay. Take that. So, with the approval of this budget, let me just say globally, you will be agreeing to the adjustments that have been made within the fund balances. Those are the sheets that I gave you right there, where some monies were moved from category to category or added to categories. And we'll talk about those in a little bit. You'll be agreeing to the recommended COLA increase, which is 3% this year, and the adjusted pay scale increases, which I have put on the table for you to see if you would like. And you will also be approving the provisional recommendations for funding requests from internal and external organizations. So when you make the motion to approve the budget as presented, it will encompass all of these things.
What was the last part? Sorry.
The internal and external funding requests you will be provisionally approving those as presented. So then
For half
For
fiscal year.
July,
And you guys have vetted those already.
yes, we had a day-long meeting to vet them,
Okay.
and they are included. Summary of those are included in these charts, and I'll review this, some high-level ones. You can, if you have questions, we can try to address those. Okay. All right. So overall, your budget is decreasing by 4% from the revised budget that you just approved, which is not uncommon. We go conservative in the beginning of the year. So we're dropping about $103,000 to $2.418 million. So $2,418,000. Again, increases across the board have been dropped to project a conservative year. Shifts in assigned and unassigned balances reflect the following for assigned projects. Refer to your fund balance handout that I gave you before, right there. Not, you don't have that, but do you have it, Chris? Yep. Okay. All right. There's $85,000 in public safety. About halfway down, you'll see $85,000. That is for 2 police vehicles to be leased on a 5-year term with an appropriations clause that allows us to remove ourselves from that contract if that would ever be needed at any time. And the first year that is allocated for in there includes the graphics and the add-ons and the extra things that need to be on a police vehicle. It also includes 1 parking enforcement vehicle that's to be leased on a 4-year term, a 5-year term, and includes the graphics to be set up for that. There's a $95,000 loan for renovations of the downstairs space. This is increased from $20,000 from last year. This is building up a reserve to be able to do work in that area, which was bid at a much higher rate than 95, but this is building our reserve there. There's $80,000 for town hall repairs. That includes major exterior work that needs to be done, including possibly the post office dock overhang and maintenance shed upgrades. Hey, Greg, could you mute yourself on your phone? Because there's a lot of cheering in the background that we're.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 600 5-year-olds out.
Can you just gonna have to, yeah, and then you'll have to remember to unmute when you want to talk. Oh, that's better. Thank you. Okay. Lower town infrastructure. This includes bike stations and other visitor-oriented needs. $110,000 for the Armory Canal Trail and Streets and Grounds grant matching to support any additional needs for the High Street renovation that are not accounted for in the project, and in anticipation of stormwater, streets, and sidewalk projects, and $10,000 toward the town website development. So that takes care of major changes on the fund balance from last year to this year, or to 27. Okay, I'm going to talk about external funding requests.
Just so it's very new to me. All that you just listed is in the general fund. That's a general fund line item.
Well, it's listed. It's included in various places in the budget, and it does. And mostly, it's establishing our assigned fund balance, carry forward balance.
Okay.
So it's showing up on income as assigned fund. That's already money we have.
Yep.
But then it gets distributed in the expenses in the appropriate category in which it is to be spent.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're going to go to this chart. If you had it in your package, this is external funding requests. The $8,137 in requests that qualify in humanities, 906, that is money that is paid from room occupancy taxes. The Budget and Finance Committee recommended $74,710 for to be funded. Many of these you have seen before. You know, the Library Arts and Crafts Program, the Appalachian Chamber Music. The Historic Town Foundation has always given us a submission kind of by a specific project. They've had difficulty with timing of grants and coming to depend on a grant, and then the grant falls apart, and it's really kind of messed up their timeline with getting their projects done. So they've had a different approach this year. They're asking us to commit a general round dollar item of $25,000 to intended to be used for concrete floor, flooring, smart architectural, various projects. So the recommendation was to approve that amount, but ask that it be distributed by project with the normal documentation that is required. So when they're getting ready to spend it, they come forward, it's a project, they have to show receipts, we pay them. Also, the committee recommended that we ask the town foundation to return to council and explain their intended use of the facility for the town's use once that is defined by the committees that we have. That's kind of like the biggest change that we've had from past years. Is there anything on there that you have a specific question about?
I have a question for last year. So I put in a request for the BZA to have some training, and I can never figure out if that got funded.
That's internal.
Well, it is internal.
Yeah, I
It
guess
is an
that's
internal
internal.
committee.
Okay.
Go back and look at your
Okay.
your letter that went back. There should have been a letter, but it's not in. I can't. I just don't know how to answer that right now.
Can we figure that out though? Because BZA does need to address that.
We can have it come to Budget and Finance on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was approved for 26.
Last fiscal year.
So let's
That would need to be spent by June or.
or carried forward, which could be adjusted in July. But let's
Okay.
put that on the agenda for Monday. And if you have any documentation on it, if you can shoot it to Chris or me, we can address it Monday.
How much is the library?
The library special use on this 906 is 8130. We also approved as our general line item contribution to them out of the general fund. There, I believe it is 5,500 this year. Yeah, so they will be getting both of those they're eligible for. Yes.
And then the streetlights, did we get a hold of that report or no?
This is Jesse.
So this, that's not gonna happen.
That's not.
No,
We called.
yeah, I've talked to.
Okay.
This ain't gonna happen. So what we decided to do was set aside this fund to buy, vintage radio wave fixtures as we find them on the open market. And this price includes, $2,500 is enough to buy two at an average market price, and then have them completely rehabbed if we wanted to, painted, rewired. And if they don't need that level of work, it'll be substantially cheaper. And so I think there are 11 that we need, and this is just to begin the step to purchase them incrementally and replace the contemporary lights over time.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to economic development. Again, most of these has been pretty much in the past. There's a slight increase with the EPTA. They asked for a total of 10,000 this year, which we split between economic development and also the public transportation line within the general fund itself. I think we gave them 75 last year. They've asked for more. Their ridership is really, really increasing.
92%.
Yeah, 92% increase.
Oh, wow.
So they're
Yeah.
really,
I mean,
they can use our support there.
And they're going to
Yeah.
end Saturday rider
Yeah, circulator service, it'll go.
service and on Saturdays in Harper's Ferry in
And-
Jefferson County.
And they're willing to put in a depot station
Yep.
in the lower town somewhere. So so that's something we'll be
For
working on
free,
with them.
solar
For free.
powered bus
Yeah.
station.
Right, little, hangout for your bus. Excuse me. one thing I did want to, if we did include it in the economic development, is the Wi-Fi request in the children's park. Do you want to address that?
Yeah, so there is no part of there is a general belief that if parents could have Wi-Fi service while their kids were in the playground, more people would use the playground in general. There's no really viable service there, and it would also allow us to have to manage events. For ticketed events if we wanted to in the future and things like that. This is a step in that direction to allow, because right now you can't process credit cards or anything there, and this would allow us to have a commercial Wi-Fi installed there and provide on the guest account there for people at the park to access the Wi-Fi and have Wi-Fi. And that price includes the annual service. And the first year is a little bit higher because that also includes the cabinet that the hardware would live in. It'd be stuck in the pavilion and just kind of hang out there. When people logged on to Harpers Ferry Net or whatever we called it on the splash screen on their device, they would see the welcome screen with the login password. And that's completely isolated from everything else. There's no connection anywhere to sensitive data or anything. So it's not a security.
It would be its own
Yeah,
service.
its own
Yeah.
service.
We would have a Comcast service there. We also would need power there. So that would also be, so within the budget itself, not here, but within the parks section of the budget, you will see that utilities have been increased to accommodate this. And also the thinking is that this would offer Wi-Fi for people who are trying to pay their parking. And if it is successful, it could also be something done in some other areas in town, like the gazebo, where that running tickets for events has been a challenge, that kind of thing. So
where does it sit? Is it hidden well?
it would probably be in the
So this will be it'll be in a secure outdoor cabinet,
Yeah,
stuck in
got
a
it,
pavilion somewhere.
Hey.
Hello, there is.
account.
You want to hang out? Yeah.
Well, we had a meeting as well. I didn't realize there was
Yeah.
Can we get you in the
Sweet well.
downstairs space?
Yep, sorry, what is?
This is a special council meeting for the budget of 27.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a standard cabinet that it would go in the pavilion somewhere, and
Yeah, got it. I just
yeah,
thinking
Your
of,
mom knows how to get
unruly teenagers.
yeah. Well, something that came up was if we did this, that would also provide us with the opportunity, if we ever wanted to install Ring cameras or other security devices there in the park.
My phone is being
Just for
used
general services. They're easy to put on a timer, so you can turn them on at night, so you're not spying on the general public.
Yeah, right.
And so, but that would make all that possible. And if we have three or more, if we did this in 3 or more places, the whole thing would act like a single large network. So you could just walk around town and have Wi-Fi everywhere, in the future.
So some of that will come out of economic development, some will be other areas of the general fund for ongoing costs. Okay, any other questions about economic development? Okay, going to the internal requests, which again, this is a teeny tiny chart, sorry about all that, but in the police department, the request was for a full-time officer with benefits and training, 2 vehicles, which we kind of covered in the fund balance carry forward, tablets and gear for the new officer, national night out, community meet and greet, that's all standard that we normally do. Historic landmarks asked for several funding items, and 2 of them were approved, the vacant and blighted property documentation and editing services for Appendix A at a rate of $4,300. And they did ask specifically for legal counsel. Each commissioner committee making legally binding recommendations has access to our general legal counsel line. They just have to go through the process of talking to the mayor, getting authorization, etc. So we didn't make that separate. Okay, streets and maintenance. We have $5,000 in there for the tree commission match, and then we have to pre-fund the money that we get granted back. So the total line item will be 10,000 there, but we'll get 5,000 back. And then there is some money set aside for maintenance storage work shed.
Here,
Yeah, this work shed area, the discussions have been.
Would we get rid of the C container, the transmodal container, and the little garage doghouse thing, and then put another building at the base of the town-owned property there?
Okay, inside of town hall, there's an item for new AV equipment for this conference room, and exterior work that needs to be done. Renovation of the space that we talked about downstairs, renovation work in the front office for the water clerk and lobby space, restriping of the parking lot, uniforms for the ordinance compliance officer, or the CEO, excuse me. Planning Commission asked for GIS software, existing map digitization, and survey of town rights of way. So that's $72.50 there. Street sign replacement. I just heard from Christian. This number is way too low. This is to cover the labor for that. So he has confirmed it is too low. We'll bring that up in budget finance on Monday. Let's see, the local funding you see there, public transit annual funding, and the fire department. We have we have 4,000 in our budget in 26. We're increasing the annual amount to 5,500, which would include also what comes out of coal severance. And then they also had a specific request to help repair their generator.
that was library?
Fire department.
Fire department.
Libraries at 5,500.
Yeah, thanks. Okay.
So, any questions on any of that?
So I need a perspective, like year to year. What are like to the library, to the fire? Are we up, down?
Well, last year in 26, our plan was 4,000 to the fire department, and it has been growing each year a little bit. So this will be a jump to 5,500, and
But that includes the generator, right?
well, the 8,500 includes the generator. So there's another 3,000. They came forward and asked for some assistance with their generator. So this is a bit of a jump for that.
Are they getting help from Bolivar for
Yes, they're requesting that.
that? Do we know how much?
I think they're asking for the same amount. Yeah.
So it's a 50-50
Right.
split.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay.
And the public transit, I was just describing, that's gone up a little bit. They got 7,500 overall last year. They're getting 10 this year. And the library, they have the 8,300 in the
8130.
Programming.
and
that's up
that's just
considerably.
their projects.
Yep.
Well, it's actually this year they asked for 7,000 something, almost 8,000.
Okay.
So that's about the same. And then I think this 5,000 is only up $500. So it's not a lot of movement. Yep. Okay. And so things I just talked about then are going to have been baked into the charts that I gave you, all those charts in various places. The net effect is a little bit significant and a shift from previous years because of mostly some of the staffing that I discussed within the police department. Okay, so it makes your reserve. You know, if you took a look at this chart that I sent you, this is reserve tracking that we started a couple of years ago. So you'll notice that has dropped from 4.23 months to 3.17 with this strategy. Your contingency, last year we started with about 150,000, and this year we'll start with 63,000 or something like that. So it's at 2.5% of the overall budget versus 6.4% of the budget.
What's the name of that?
This is the reserve.
It's one of the attachments.
Yes.
Reserve track. Thank you.
David, also, if there's a pretty, I did this specifically for that reserve sheet.
Yeah.
And if you want to take a look at that, it kind of shows, more
Jesse made
detail.
all of my spreadsheets very beautiful with his chart.
You know, it's just, it's nothing profound, it's just different ways to look at the information.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So is there concern over the drop in the reserve? I mean, what was that discussion?
Well, it's a different strategy that you're taking.
Yeah. So there is a different strategy, and part of this we will address in just a moment when we go into executive session.
Okay.
Part of that change. You know, overall, it does make a big dent in the line item contingency fund. It does, but overall, it doesn't change a whole lot. You know, we're losing about a month of no. If we had no revenue for 4 months, you know, we would be in trouble versus 5 months. We would be in trouble.
Or three,
3 and 4, yeah. And, you know, the general consensus was, I think that difference is not huge. You know, at this level that we're discussing right now, we're still ahead of the Government Finance Officer Association reserve benchmark by 61%. We're well ahead versus we were at 117% of their recommendation. We're currently at 61.
And we discussed this quite a bit. And again, we'll talk more in executive session about whether the trade-off on the personnel is worthwhile. But the other thing that kind of comforted me is that we're being very conservative in our income
Yes.
projections.
Yes.
As we have been in the past, those have always gone up.
Mhm.
And we expect those to go up again in the
I think we're exceeding
future
that.
revisions.
Yep.
I'm seeing, I guess when I'm looking at the tracking, I see, am I reading this wrong? I see like 1.8-ish million in income, like well, not even income, is the unassigned fund balance plus the income is like 600K less than our proposed expenses. I'm not really understanding that. Am I missing something?
Well, the expenses are gonna to include all of your like your assigned and your restricted and your assigned and your restricted. So it's I don't believe what your unassigned is kind of what you're free to spend in any way that you want. And so that's why that's only there. This calculation doesn't take into consideration now that 465,000 of assigned, which last year was 292, right? So that's a little bit of a shift there, and you're getting a little bit of a shift in your restricted as well, which was 74. It's going to be 90 now. So that's so you're right. It's not because you're required to spend it all in your expenses. So like this is like unassigned, you're allowed to spend on anything. So that's kind of it's a very restrictive sort of way to protect yourself looking at it. This is the accountants came up with this as a way of just kind of, it's a conservative way to, and the idea was, again, if we had no other income, then how much money would we have to survive and how long would that last? Because you can't spend that stuff that's restricted. So all you can spend is what's in the unassigned.
So right now, with this projected budget, we have 97 days. And with last year's budget, we had 130. So it's a month we've lost.
Right.
And we can, we could reduce this by 5% overall and save 2 extra weeks. We could, delay the sinking of the ship by 2 weeks.
But the thinking was that if you're at 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just important that you understand it's a shift in thinking and a shift in strategy.
If we want to, I think before we go much further, we should probably talk about going into executives.
One thing before we do that, I'm going to completely shift out of this to coal severance. I just need to give you like 4 lines about coal severance. It's a team Danny budget, $850 this year. And we have $100 carry forward, $750 anticipated in revenue. $85 is going to go in contingency and expense for that, and $765 will go to the fire department. So that is included in your levy estimate. I just have to let you know. Okay, now.
What is the, where's the
So
next
now,
sheet?
so this is all like personnel and business, customer relations. Mayor, I'm giving Kevin the, executive session, what are those things? Code. He's checking for the appropriate clause. And if you wanna, oh, good, he got his
I
mute.
wonder if we should check in with him unmuted to see if he had any questions.
Yeah, did you have any questions for the budget before we go in executive session?
No, I didn't. And when we get on to the voting on that, Debbie, you need to let me know if the cemetery issue is on any of the votes, because I'm not, obviously I'm going to abstain.
Well, the cemetery spending is included in the list,
External.
external funding recommendations. So it is included in that, although it is not specifically mentioned, as are none of these things are being singled out in this time. They're being approved as a group.
This is tough, Greg, because I think we did that policy, right? We disclose your affiliation. You don't necessarily.
well, I think if he just, yeah, if the mayor just says that he is involved with the cemetery, I think, by our policy, he's clear. Unless anybody here has objections.
Well, it's a teeny tiny thing in what we're considering now.
So, Mayor, do you want to disclose your association with the cemetery?
Yeah, sure. I'm a member of the board of trustees. And I'm just not going to go down that road. So I'm going to caution myself. I just don't want to get involved in that.
Okay.
And obviously, I'll do whatever you all want me to do. I mean, I can turn my phone off,
So
my hearing aids off.
Well, the consensus here, Mayor, is that you have complied with the town's conflict of interest policy in disclosing your intent. Nobody here has any objection to you.
And at this point, we're at the macro level. We're not talking about that specifically. It'll just be included in the overall vote at the end.
Okay, well, in that case, Kevin, if he's found the citing on there for the exemption to the Open Meetings Act, go ahead and cite that claim to executive session.
Okay. So, motion to go into executive session per State Code 6-9A-4B29.
Second.
B9, sorry.
Yeah, B9.
B9.
Yeah. Let's say no to number.
Well, I second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second to go into executive session. Any discussion?
You have discussion, David?
No.
Oh,
I'm ready to raise my hand. Just ready to go.
All in favor of going to executive session?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Votes to go into executive session. What was the final tally on the vote, Kevin?
It's 5-0.
Can you pull in Debbie and Steve also? Greg?
Executive session, Debbie, who do you need in the room with you?
Deb, me and Steve.
You want Steve in here also?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna authorize the finance officer and the public works administrator to be in on the executive session.
All right, I'm opening this back up. We got video, come back to me, video. All right. Okay, you are out of executive session.
Mayor,
Thank you. Council, we're in executive session at 7:40 p.m. I believe we have a few motions that will be put on the table. Is that correct?
yes, Mayor, this is Chris. I would like to move to approve the fiscal year 27 general and coal fund budgets as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Dave Simmons.
Need a roll.
Discussion.
And so you're gonna
Hearing
do,
no discussion, all those in favor of the motion?
we're gonna need a roll.
All right, sorry, go ahead, Kevin, call roll.
David Simmons,
Yes.
Chris Craig,
Yes.
Jesse,
Yes.
and I vote yes, Mayor.
Mayor.
Yes, I vote yes.
Okay,
So all in favor?
Thank you.
All right.
We have a motion on the floor.
I'll do it. You want me to do it?
You got it. Do it.
I move that we suspend Chris Steyer.
Nope. Oh,
Sorry.
done now.
done now. Fine.
Then the employee in question that we discussed in executive session without pay until further consultation by the mayor with the attorney. Until further notice.
Second.
I second.
Mayor?
Yeah, one more, David, read a clear motion, one more time for the record.
Okay.
Names and,
Right.
et cetera.
Move that we suspend the employee we discussed in executive session without pay until further notice.
Okay, and we have a
Pending.
motion, we have a second, any discussion on the motion?
Well, I think we want to specify that there's going to be conversation with or the legal counsel. Do we not need to?
I don't think we
Okay,
need-
well, second.
I'm sorry, what's going on there?
Well, Jesse had a question that you got answered.
We're ready for a vote.
Me?
At the table.
All right, one, standing up,
Okay,
and, opposed, none, motion carries, I guess, 5-0.
Yes.
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 Okay, any other motions?
Move to adjourn.
Handle this, should I send?
That's an administrative thing you can take care of.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Are we ready to?
Okay, we have a second. Yes, sir.
Aye.
Adjourn to 7:43 p.m.
Okay, Mayor, don't hang up there a second. We have one administrative